All right, good evening, yogis. Hi to those of you checking in at home and to those of you here in person at the studio. Thank you for rolling out your mats. Just so you know, for those of you here, I'm just subbing for John this week. He'll be back next week, so that takes care of that. So you guys can start on your back since most of you are already there at some point or just a few moments ago. And at home, it's always a nice way to start. So take these first few moments just to settle in. Start to let go of your day. Hopefully each and every one of you had a really, really great Wednesday. Maybe there was some stress, a little anxiety mixed along the way. So letting anything negative, any of that busy work in your mind, just let it go. Start to become aware of your surroundings. Whether you're at home, notice the senses that you may notice. Maybe you feel temperature, heat, cold on your skin. In the studio, maybe you notice the fans blowing the air around you. You hear the air as it enters the room, hear the music. Focusing on all of those things will help you kind of bring yourself to the mat. Start to integrate yourself here for practice. Notice your breath. Are you really filling up? Each inhale, really full, and each exhale, letting all of your air go? Or is your breath still kind of choppy and short? Do your best to elongate it. And depending on where you are in this mask situation, maybe you use your Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through your nose. Maybe not. As you're settling in, start to notice how you physically feel. Is there anywhere in your body that is kind of tight, sore, uncomfortable, something that you just notice? Notice those places. They might need some extra TLC. You might want to linger in a certain pose or skip something that might irritate your body. But also notice those places that feel really good today. Maybe you well rested and you're just feeling rejuvenated throughout your body. Maybe you were having kind of an injury or you were tight somewhere and you're feeling better. Know that your body is strong, and it is always up to you where you want to take it each time you roll out your mats. It's a choice that you made, as well as the choices of how you move your body. I will give you examples, suggestions, but you know you best. You won't be here much longer in stillness, but as you are here, it's a nice time to set an intention if you are a yogi who likes to do so. Maybe you're going to dedicate this practice to someone in your life, a loved one, maybe yourself. Maybe there's just kind of a word, strength, patience, gratitude, compassion, something that resonates with you, that hits a spot in your heart. If that's the case for you, then you'll bring that thought, that word, that person, whatever it may be, that inspiration to your head, to your heart, for just 3 more rounds of breath here in stillness. You'll start to make your body into a full body stretch. So if your legs aren't long, you'll let them go long and you'll reach your hands overhead, reaching your hands back to the back of your room. You'll start to scoot your hips off the left side of your mat, and then you're going to move your limbs to the right corner. So you're going to make like a half moon with your body. You're going to feel a nice stretch throughout your body. So you could always cross your left ankle over your right for a little bit more, or maybe your right hand is going to just gently kind of tug on your left wrist. Just breathing here, 2 more rounds of breath. You'll slowly just move your body back to center. So a minute in a full body stretch, not a literal minute, just a beat. And then you'll do that on the other side. So this time moving your hips off to the right or the left, whatever side they didn't go. And then your limbs go opposite of your hips. So making that little half moon shaped body or shape with your body. And then maybe this time right leg crosses over left. And just 2 more rounds of breath. Once again, you'll make your way back to that full body stretch. This time really pressing toes forward, reaching as the hands reach back like you just woke up from the best nap ever. Slowly, soles of feet will find the mat as hands come down by your sides. We're just going to find a quick bridge, a little back bend. So take an inhale and then exhale all of your air out. And on your next big inhale, press your hips high to the sky. So you can stay right here, or you can interlace hands underneath you, getting a little opening in your chest. Maybe you walk your feet a little bit closer to your seat. Maybe you even find your tippy toes. You're here for 2 more rounds of breath. On your very next inhale, can your hips come just a little higher? Nice yogis. And on your exhale, slowly lower all the way down. You'll meet in a reclined butterfly, so feet come together as your knees fall out. Usually the closer your feet are to your seat, or your heels, I guess, the more intense that inner hip stretch is going to be. But if you move your feet down a little bit further, you may feel something different in your hamstrings, maybe a little bit more. Hands will come to the outside of your knees. As you close your knees like a book, you'll hug knees into chest and just take a little rock side to side, a little reset for your lower back. Hands will come down by your sides or maybe underneath your lower back. Your feet will go high to the sky. We're going to warm up your core a little bit. So lower both of your legs about 1/3 of the way and then hold there. You'll lower another third and then hold. Find your lowest point that you can maintain. Look at your feet. Feel your belly really strong. You're holding here for 3. You're here for 2, and then slowly legs come all the way back up. 1 more time, yogis. Lower your legs 1/3 and hold. Nice control. Lower another 1/3 and hold. Find that low point. Look at your feet. This time swimming your feet up and down, a little move. Yes, you guys got it. Here for 3. You're here for 2. Find stillness and then legs all the way back up. Hug your knees, rock side to side. You'll find a quick happy baby. Grab each foot, pull down towards each rib cage. Should feel a nice flattening in your back and your spine. Probably a pretty intense groin stretch. You'll start to grab behind your thighs and you'll rock and roll forwards and backwards like a little ball. Doing this as many times as you would like, but eventually you're just going to meet in your cross-legged seats. So finding your seat, we're just going to find a little twist here. So your left hand will find your right knee. Your right hand will go behind you. Inhale, get nice and tall. And on your exhale, you're twisting at the base of your spine. Every inhale, think really tall spine, flat back. And every exhale, you twist just a little bit deeper. 1 more round. And you'll bring yourself back to center. And the right hand will find the left knee. Left hand goes behind you. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, twisting at the base of your spine. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, twist. 1 more round. You'll bring yourself back to center. Hands can just be in your lap or on your knees, whatever you want. You'll bring chin to chest. Feel a nice little stretch in the back of your neck, the top of your back. You'll lazily guide your right ear towards your right shoulder. If you want a little bit more on that left side where you're feeling this stretch, your left hand can reach off towards the left. You'll feel a little bit more sensation. Your right hand could gently fall on your left ear to add a little bit of pressure. If hand is on your ear, you'll release. You'll bring your neck through chin to chest, and then slowly your left ear towards left shoulder, feeling the right side open up. You can stay here, or left hand can find right ear, nice and gentle, you're not pushing. And then if you want, that right hand can kind of walk its fingers off to the right, finding that sweet spot. Just one more round of breath. If hand is on your ear, you'll release it. You'll bring chin to chest and pause here, one full round. You'll bring your gaze back to center and simply roll over both ankles or one hip to find your tabletop. So you'll be wrists in line with shoulders, knees in line with hips. Once you are there, just starting your cat-cow. So inhale, belly goes low, gaze goes forward. And on your exhale, round your back like a Halloween cat as your gaze releases. So continuing cat-cow here, or adding any organic movement. You could find child's pose, you could sway your hips, make any kind of organic movements that feels good here. Sometimes I even close my eyes in this moment, so I'm just moving with my body. I'm not even worried about what's going on around me. Yogi's taking 2 more full rounds of breath, with whatever movement is making sense. Once you finish the round of breath that you are on, you'll make your way back to your neutral spine, refining your tabletop. From here, your right arm is going to reach forward as your left leg extends long behind you. Finding stability and balance here, and then take a nice big inhale and reach a little further. Exhale, crunch elbow into your knee. Inhale, you lengthen long. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. One more time. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, crunch, and hold this crunch. Round your spine, squeeze. Inhale, reach far. Exhale, tabletop. Other side, left arm forward, right leg back. Inhale, you reach. Exhale, you crunch. Continuing here with your breath. Inhales, you extend, and exhales, you crunch. On your next crunch, you're going to hold it in nice and tight. Squeeze, 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 crunch. And then inhale, reach as far as you can. Exhale, tabletop. Sway your hips, roll out your wrists. Any little reset your body is craving. And you'll start to make your way back to that neutral spine, tabletop. You'll spread your fingers nice and wide, creating a strong base as you curl your toes. Hug your knees about 2 or so inches above your mat. You're in a floating tabletop, so feel your core engage. Make sure you're not hyperextending your elbows. There's a little micro bend. You're here for an inhale. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Any movements you need in this down dog. Pedal out your feet. Maybe you bend your knees big and then extend your legs long. Shake your head, yes and no. Remember that pressing weight in your first and your thumb finger will help take some pressure off your wrists. Bending your knees as much as you need to. Some of us we're created a little bit differently. Some of our heels will easily touch the mat, and some of us will never be there. And that doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It's just the beauty of your body. You'll start to find stillness in your downward facing dog. Pull forward, find your high plank. Think hips in line with shoulders, so booty's not sagging low or popping too high. You can always drop down to your forearms, but you're here for just another inhale. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. And I meant drop to your knees. Forearms is just as hard, really. You're going to pull forward, find your high plank hold here. So remember, you can always drop to your knees if you want a little less intensity. You're here for an inhale. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Just one more time, friends. Pull forward, high plank, hold here. You're really pressing the mat away from you. You're going to hinge forward slightly and then lower all the way down to your belly. Once you're here, goal post your arms, half crocodile. So right knee is going to go towards your right elbow. Kind of like probably a lot of people sleep. Feel a gentle inner hip stretch. You can extend your right leg out a little bit longer for different sensation if you would like. Either facial cheek, just rest on the mat. Stay here for one more round of breath. And then your right leg will meet your left. If you like, you can bend your knees and sway your legs side to side for a little reset in your lower back. But when you are feeling ready, you're just going to set that up on the other side. So goal posted arms, left knee towards left elbow, feeling that inner hip stretch on the left side. Just one more round of breath. Slowly your left leg will meet your right. Again, if you'd like to bend your knees and sway your legs, go for it. You're going to set your hands up for your baby cobra, so fingers are about by your nipple line. You'll take a big inhale and peel your chest off the mat. Think about your elbows pressing back. Your chest is proud. Inhale, come just a little higher. Exhale, you'll release. You'll do that one more time. So on your next inhale, peel your chest off the mat. Maybe you hover your hands or your fingers tense. Inhale, can you come a little higher? Exhale, you'll release. You'll press to either a tabletop or a high plank. You'll meet in downward facing dog. Baby cobra is a wonderful option for your flows. Know that you can always skip flows as well. From your downward facing dog, pull forward, high plank. Hinge forward slightly, chaturanga, half push-up, knees or toes. Upward facing dog, so thighs are off the mat, but tops of feet are on. Curl your toes, hips go high, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, bring your feet to your hands. Find your halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhale, you'll rise tall, you'll reach to the sky. Exhale, you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, find your high plank, and choose your way to downward facing dog. So maybe you take that baby cobra, maybe a chaturanga. You can always just go high plank, down dog right away. From your downward facing dog, feet to hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Rise tall, reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, find your way to downward facing dog. This movement warms up your body, prepares your muscles for the movements, the poses to come. One more sun A, friends. Feet to hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Rise tall and fold forward. Find your halfway lift. Plant your hands, choose your way to downward facing dog. Maybe you choose to do something different every single time. Maybe you do the same thing. Nice form on those chaturangas. Remember, those elbows touch your ribs, protect your shoulders. From your downward facing dog, bring feet to hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Rise tall and find your chair pose. So maybe big toes touch and you have like a little gap between your heels, or you can have like a fist width between your feet, sitting down in what's that imaginary chair behind you. You should ideally be able to lift up your toes, ensuring that weight is in your heels. Can you sink a little lower and then create airplane wings, so palms face down by your sides. Pop your heels off the mat so you're balancing on your tippy toes. Maybe they're popped a little, maybe a lot. Can you sink an inch lower? You're here for an inhale. Exhale, forward fold, let it all go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, find your way to downward facing dog, taking a flow or knowing you can always skip them. Nice work, yogis. From downward facing dog, right leg will go high. Bend your knee, stack your hip. Maybe you roll out your ankle if that feels good. You'll start to square off your hips. Bring your right knee to your nose, hold it there, and then plant your foot between your hands, warrior one. So right foot plants, left foot spins open, about that 45 to 60 degree angle. You're going to want to think about left hip forward, right hip back. You're trying to square your hips towards the front of your room. Did you add tension in your face and your shoulders? Try to release it. You're here for an inhale. Exhale, frame your right foot and choose your way to down dog. Maybe you take a single leg flow, which means you lift your right leg during it. Maybe you skip the flow entirely. From downward facing dog, yogis pull forward high plank. Your right hand finds the center of the mat, side plank towards the door you walked into in the studio. You can always drop down to your forearm or drop your bottom knee for more support. Can your hips come a little higher? One more round of breath. Beautiful, yogis. Find your high plank. Stay for your inhale. On your exhale, hips go high, down dog. Left leg will go high. Bend your knee, stack your hip, roll out your ankle. You'll square off your hips. You'll bring knee to nose, pause, hold, and then plant your foot between your hands, warrior one on the other side. So it's probably going to feel different in your hips and your shoulders. That's okay. Think about this time, right hip forward, left hip back. Sometimes hands to hips can help you kind of feel that mind-body connection. Can you relax your shoulders? Can you bend just a little deeper? Nice, you guys, here for just your big inhale. Exhale, frame left foot, find your way to downward facing dog. Awesome options, yogis. From your downward facing dog, you'll pull forward high plank. Left hand, center of the mat, side plank towards the parking lot here in the studio. Maybe this time you find a forearm, drop a knee. Maybe you lift a leg. Can your hips come a little higher? You got it. One more round of breath. Yogis, find your high plank and stay for your inhale. And then on your exhale, hips go high right away, downward facing dog. Yogis, from down dog, feet to hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Rise tall, reach high, find your chair pose. You're gonna bring hands to heart, preparing for a twist. So inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, twist to the parking lot here in the studio. Left elbow goes outside your right knee. Think about getting your knees in line. Your left is probably in front of your right. So think about getting that left hip back in space a little bit more. Can your booty go a little lower? Your heart stays proud. One more round of breath. Beautiful, yogis. Come back to center and stay low for just your inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your feet to about hip width or so. Your right hand will plant or maybe finds a block. Your left hand will go high to the sky. Think about bending your right knee and then straightening your left leg-ish. Should feel a nice IT band stretch in your outer left hip. And then you'll switch this out. Left hand finds the variation that makes sense for it as right hand goes high. Bend your left knee, straighten-ish that right leg. Maybe you roll out your arms. Both hands will find the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise tall back to that chair pose. We're going to even out those twists, so bring hands back to heart, find that depth. Inhale, hinge, forward. Exhale, twist right elbow outside left knee. So feeling a little different on this side. Can you get that right knee in line with your left? Can your seat go a little bit lower? Your heart stays proud. You guys look awesome here in the studio. Stick with it at home. One more round of breath. Bring yourself back to center and stay low for just your inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Find your halfway lift. Plant your hands. Choose your way to downward facing dog, knowing that flows are always, always optional. But you can always add chaturanga push-ups if you want a little more. From your downward facing dog, yogis, right leg high behind you. Your knee comes to your nose. Pause. Plant your foot, warrior one. We're going to interlace our hands at our lower back. So interlacing hands at lower back. If you have a towel, a strap, anything with you, that can always help you make that connection. On your inhale, your gaze will go up, your heart will open. And then on your exhale, just let your heart fall, your head fall. You're in your humble warrior. The higher your hands come off your lower back, the more opening you'll feel in your chest and your shoulders. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw, you're not furrowing your eyebrows. One more round of breath. Nice, yogis, engage your core. Start to lift yourself back up. Hands can come back high above your head. You're in your warrior one. You're not here long. Big inhale. Exhale, open up, warrior two. So roughly that front foot's heel is in line with your back foot's arch. Both arms are really nice and active. I always find that my back arm is kind of lazy, so check in with yourself. You're going to start to straighten your front leg. You're going to start to shorten your stance a little bit, so bring your back foot forward. We're going to find triangles, so hips go back. And then when they won't anymore, you start to tick-tock forward. Your hand is in front of your shin or your ankle if you want more. That right arm can reach to the front. That left arm could reach to the front. Feeling a lot happening in your left obliques. Wherever you are, one more round of breath. You'll slowly reverse this. The right hand goes high to the sky, left hand goes low. You'll bring your hands to your hips, square your hips to the front of the room, and then scoot that left foot forward up just a little bit. You're in like some weirdo baby warrior one. We're gonna find pyramid. So a little bend in your right knee. Inhale, gaze goes up. And on your exhale, you're hinging forward, nice flat back. If you have a block or something at home, maybe you grab for it. Otherwise, maybe you can release your fingers down towards the floor. You should feel, again, some sensation, or most likely you'll feel sensation in your outer right hip. If you want to twist, left hand could stay, right hand could reach high. Breathing here, just another round of breath. If you are not there, hands come back to your hips. Engage your core and come up nice and slow with a flat back. Once you're tall, left foot steps forward, so you're just at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, chair pose. You're gonna turn this into your eagle. So right arm will go under your left, or you can just give yourself a big bear hug. Once you're there, you're gonna stair step that right leg. You can either wrap it right off to the side, or you can wrap it maybe all the way around. Once you're there, think about a nice flat back. If your elbows come higher, you'll feel more of a stretch. If your booty goes lower, you may feel more stability. One more round of breath, you got it. Beautiful, yogis. Feet find the mat. Big inhale, reach your arms high to the sky, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, find your way to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, yogi's left leg will go high. You'll bring knee to nose, pause, and then plant your foot, warrior one. So not thinking about what's coming, just focusing on each pose as it happens. Interlacing hands or grabbing a prop to help you. Inhale, gaze goes up. And on your exhale out, your left shoulder fall. Head is heavy. Again, hands can go as high as feels okay for you. Can you release some tension somewhere in your neck, in your jaw, your forehead? One more round of breath. Squeeze your strong belly. It'll help lift you back up to your warrior one as hands come high above your head. You're here for just an inhale. Exhale, open up, warrior two. You're not here super long, so try to really commit to this pose. Big bend in your front knee. Arms are really active. One more round of breath. And then you'll start to straighten your front leg, shortening your stance up a little bit for that triangle. Hips will go to the back of the room, and then once they won't anymore, left hand in front of shin or ankle. Nice, yogis. Now that right shoulder is going to want to fall forward. You're really trying to open it up, stack those shoulders. Maybe left arm reaches towards the front, maybe right arm for that extra core strength. One more round of breath. Beautiful expressions. You'll reverse. So this time left hand reaches high to the sky, right hand reaches low. Hands will come to your hips as you square your hips to the front of your room, squeezing that right foot forward. Turn that really kind of random warrior one. Inhale, gaze goes up, heart opens. Exhale, hinging forward. Each side will feel different, so maybe you stay at that halfway lift point. Maybe you can kind of release or surrender a little bit further on this side. Again, that twist is there for you if you want it. Right hand would plant her fingers, maybe tense as left hand reaches high. One more round of breath. If you're not there, bring your hands to your hips, squeeze your strong belly, and come up nice and slow with a flat back. Once you are tall, your right foot steps to the front of the mat. Inhale, reach arms high. Exhale, chair pose. You're going to turn this into your eagle on the other side, so left arm will go under right, or you can just bear hug. Big stair step in that left leg. The higher you step it, the easier it is to at least get around some way, shape, or form that right leg. Maybe you kickstand it off to the side. Maybe you kind of got that loop-de-loop. Think about a really nice, tall back. Think about your elbows going a little higher, your booty going just a little lower. One more round of breath. Beautiful, yogi feet find the mat. Big inhale, reach those arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. You'll plant hands, take your final flow of class, or you can skip it, meeting in downward facing dog. Yogis, from your downward facing dog, you'll pull forward, find your high plank. You're gonna lower down to your forearms, so you're in your forearm plank. Dolphin pose, walk your feet towards your elbows. So your butt's gonna go high towards the sky as your feet get closer to your elbows. Your head stays off the mat. You're like an upside down V with your body. Shoulders are working hard. If you want more, you can take little leg lifts. Right leg could lift high, left leg could lift high. Each and every one of you is in a forearm stand prep, which is awesome. So feel really strong about that wherever you are. 2 more rounds of breath and then a child's pose. So 1 more really strong round of breath. And then drop your knees, set up your child's pose. So big toes touch, knees as wide or not as wide as you would like them. If nothing else, enjoy that release in your shoulders. 3 rounds of breath. Yogis, on your next inhale, you'll make your way back to your tabletop. Once you're here, your right hand will go high to the sky. You'll stack your shoulders, roll out your wrists. And then you'll thread your needle, so your right hand is going to go through that hole your left arm's created. Your right facial cheek just rests on the mat. You can stay right here, otherwise the left arm could bind behind your lower back. If you want a balance challenge, your left leg could lift. Maybe one day you bend your left knee and you grab your foot, and then maybe you fall, and you know what? That's kind of fun too. And it's called broken table. So broken tables fall, and so do yogis. 1 more round of breath. And I usually get someone every time, so thank you for being my person. If leg is lifted, you'll slowly start to release it down. And then you'll gently unwind. That right hand will go high to the sky. Stack your shoulders, roll out your wrists. You'll find tabletop and take a cat-cow here, a little reset for your spine. And then we'll have a little fun on the other side. So that left arm will lift, stack shoulders, roll out wrists. And then thread the needle on this side. It might feel more natural, more unnatural. Left cheek is on the mat. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you play with lifting your right or your left leg. Find an arm. Again, in yoga, I don't just say it, it really is important to fall. Sometimes you learn that point where you needed to just squeeze a little tighter or hang on to this a little more, so it's all part of it. You're here 1 more round of breath. If leg is lifted, you'll slowly release it. And then you'll gently unwind, left hand high, stack, shoulders roll out, wrist. You'll find tabletop. Take one more round of cat-cow, and then you'll meet in your downward facing dog. Yogis, from down dog, your right leg will go high behind you. You'll bring your knee to your nose, and then you'll send it back. You'll bring right knee towards right elbow, and you'll send it back. I'm sure you guessed it. Right knee comes towards left elbow. Yes, you can. And then all the way back. Find your half pigeon. So right shin parallel to the front of the mat as best as you can. Mine's like not parallel at all. It's just a rule of thumb, an easy way to say it. You can always roll over on your back. Cross right ankle over left knee. Lay on back. But focusing on getting some tense, some stress, some toxins. It's said to all kind of get built up in our hips. For some of us more than others. So let that go. Here for 2 more full rounds of breath. Yogis, on your next inhale, you'll start to find palms of hands if you're not there. You'll curl your left toes and you'll find a 3-legged down dog, taking any movements that your body craves. So right leg goes high to the sky. Just feel it out. Eventually, when you're feeling ready, you'll meet in downward facing dog. In downward dogs, your left leg will lift. You'll bring knee to nose, and then you'll send it back. You'll bring left knee towards left elbow, and then send it back. You know it's coming. Left knee, right elbow. Yes, you can. And then all the way back. Now set up that half pigeon on the other side. Maybe this time you prefer to roll on your back and take it reclined, or vice versa. You're here for 2 more full rounds of breath. Yogis, on your next inhale, if you're not there, you'll start to find palms of hands. You'll curl your right toes and eventually find that 3-legged down dog. Left leg goes high. Take what you need here. Eventually, downward facing dog. Downward dogs, you'll walk your feet forward and you'll sit down on your seats. We'll find our seated forward fold, so legs will go long. Remove any flesh you need to from underneath your seat so sit bones feel grounded. Little bend in your knees. Reach hands high. Inhale. Exhale, you'll reach for toes, ankles, shins, knees, whatever makes sense. You can also bend your knees kind of a lot and grab under, like grab your thighs and pull yourself in. That can sometimes reach your lower back. You'll slowly start to bring yourself up to a tall seat. We'll find our boat pose. So maybe toes are on the mat, hands are behind you lightly. It's all about that tall spine, core is engaged. If you want a little bit more, knees can come to 90, arms can reach forward. If you want more, legs go high, arms go high. Try not to round your spine, you're really engaging your core. We're gonna lower, so maybe you're lowering a little bit, maybe you're lowering a lot, and then bring yourself back up. 2 more times, you're gonna lower, and then bring yourself back up. 1 more time, you're gonna lower, and then bring yourself back up. This time you're gonna lower all the way down to a full body stretch. You'll press your toes forward. You'll reach your hands back. So Soles of feet will find the mat. Hands will come down by your sides. One more round of bridge here. If you're feeling a wheel and you're confident in that in your practice, of course, go for it. You'll take an inhale. Exhale all of your air out. On your next big inhale, hips go high to the sky. Final back bend here. A beautiful wheel example for those of you at home if you need it. Maybe you interlace hands underneath you. Maybe you walk your feet a little closer or even find tippy toes. One more big inhale as hips go high as they will in this moment. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Wheels tucking chin to chest. Recline butterfly, feet together, knees out, pause here. Hands come to the outside of your knees as you close your knees like a book. We're going to find a supine twist, so just bring your knees to 90 and then let them fall to the right. Hips are stacked, shoulders are grounded, knees are just resting on the floor. If you would like, your gaze can go the opposite of your knees for a deeper twist in your spine. Breathing here for 3 more rounds of breath. Yogis, you'll use core strength to bring knees through center, and then they'll fall to the left, finding your final supine twist. This time, maybe gaze goes to the right if you like that option. Staying for just one more round of breath. And yogis, you'll slowly guide knees to center as you hug your knees. You'll bring your forehead to your knees. Make yourself into a teeny tiny ball. Take a big inhale. Hold your breath for 3, for 2, and let everything go. Set up your final resting pose, Savasana. Yogis, you'll start to bring tiny little movements back into your body. Simply wiggling your fingers, twiggling your toes. And then eventually these movements will become a little larger, rolling out your wrists, your ankles, maybe your head gently falls from one side to the other. You'll find one final full body stretch, pressing toes forward, reaching hands back. And then soles of feet will find the mats as you roll over to either side, pausing in the fetal position for just a round of breath. you would like, you'll press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Perhaps hands come to heart center. On behalf of myself and Dragonfly, thank you so much for joining at home, and thank you so much for being here in person. Until we meet again, the light and the love in me sees and it honors the light and the love in each and every one of you yogis. Namaste.